I think in this change that we want to see, some of the differences that I see need to be done, like as far as nonprofit profits and charitable work and helping others. The way I see it right now, the way we're doing it wrong is we assume what the person needs and then we push our concepts on other people, and to me that's a completely wrong idea. Those that need help know what they need more than those who assume what they need help with. So I think the shift that we need to make is we got to learn to ask what it is you need, and those that can help should, and it goes vice versa. If every one of us started asking for help, then it's up to us to offer that help if we can. That's what I try to do. If somebody needs my help, I'm here. Um, it never ever works when you try to push yourself on other people. Nobody will really get it. So, kind of need a little help right now, so I thought I'd put it out in the world. Um, some really exciting things are in the works. I wanted to do a website, but my brain is not in the left brain logical thinking to be able to do the code. I tried, but it just wasn't there. All my coding experience is just sort of like gone, and I'd be at it for years trying to accomplish a small thing. So I sort of put it on the back burner, but somebody showed up who is a programmer and just wants to do something that would definitely help out the planets, and just came forward and asked. So I'm really grateful to that, and down the road I'm sure that's going to unfold a little bit better. So the website that I was talking about a long time ago looks like that's going to come out by more professional people than me. Um, right now I have the strongest feeling that I need to get ready for something that's coming. I do believe the American dollar is going to crash. As soon as that happens, it's going to affect the Canadian economy. I do suspect there's going to be some major weather shifts. I suspect there's going to be a major earthquake in my area. I don't know if it's going to be this year or next. I see a lot of people are saying we need to store food. I totally disagree with that, because food's only going to last you so long. What are you going to do when your fridge is empty? Then where are you going to be? Plus, if you have any food, people are going, you're putting a target on your back. Um, so I'm kind of looking at how is it best for me to prepare. What first of all, I'm just getting these pushes to do something, and that's kind of where I've been at for the last 3 years, is just go where the universe is pushing me in that direction. And right now I'm getting this big massive urge to design a hydroponics unit that will grow my own food in my own house. And some of the challenges I'm looking at is, first, this apartment, I don't know how long I'll be able to afford living here, so I have to somehow um, create some kind of income, or if there's a crash, I would suspect the rent is going to be fairly low, that I could be able to afford it regardless. Even if I was out on the streets, I would want some kind of portable unit that I could get my food from. So it is somewhat like a tent setup that I want to create. It needs to generate its own energy because you need lights working. So it needs to be somewhat of a free energy system that will grow its own food, support the light system that it needs. I also want enough energy to boil water. I don't think I'm going to trust water to be clean, so I want a system where I can clean the water myself. And so that's got to be able to heat and boil water, and probably a heater because it's a little cold here. So there is a possible system that I'm looking at. One of them is you can check out Rodent Coil, the way you can design copper winding and put a magnet through its hole of that generates energy, and a lot of energy. Now what I want to do is design a system where the water flow has actually magnets going through a ton of these copper coils around it, and have that inside the tubing where the plants grow. Now what will happen is as the water flows and there's magnets in there, the magnets will push, if I had enough magnets, they would push each other as they try to stay away from each other. And the water flow will definitely help add to the flow of the whole system. I don't know how it would work, but at the same time what it'll do is it will make the water live. And go do some research on live water. Live water has a lot more power than just regular tap water. It does tend to, in a hydroponics unit, it does have the potential to grow plants bigger, faster, and healthier. So as long as it's electrifying the water as it's going through it, my plants should grow a lot faster. So I'm picturing a system, you know, what exactly is it I need? What is it I need to grow? That's playing on my mind, and how much space I need, and how much energy I need to create. So that's all going to take a little bit of money to create. But if anybody's out there that wants to help support something like this, I've got the plans in my head. Whether it works or not, I need the materials to start that off with. It's something I'm working on, whether I get help or not, but this is a passion that I'm headed towards. It may take me a couple of months before I can get something like that started. I'm pretty sure I could probably find some old tubing from plumbers and just do somewhat of a test run, you know, do a miniature setup of it. But I could use help with anybody that has a really good understanding of hydroponic units and something that's done in my home and what kind of plants I can grow. I'm really interested in like a fruit tree because I do need sugars. We need sugars. So fruit is something that helps my health if I have enough sugars. And I've seen more than enough fruit trees here that they're not all that big. They prune them down and still can bear fruit. So small plants can actually bear fruit, and I'm just wondering how I can set something up like that. I'm also looking at there's chemicals involved in keeping a system like that. Like the pH balance and stuff has to be right, which I don't know anything about, but I don't want to. I want the whole system to be self-sufficient. I don't want to be buying any products because no products are going to be available. I'm going to need to make my own seeds as, you know, they grow. I've got to let some plants go to seed so I constantly have a seed source. So it's interesting what I want to accomplish. If anybody can help out, anybody can educate me on how to put a system like that together, I'd be interested. I think it's relevant. I think we all need to sort of learn how to build our own self-sufficient units to grow our own food. That I think is so much better than storing food. So that's what I'm working on, is this hydroponics unit. Right now I'm trying to rearrange this office so I can possibly offer free tracking to start with in my house, that if everything still goes good, maybe I could start charging it and start a new career. So either way, if everything turns out fine, I'll be like, it's not going to do myself any harm to set up a nice little hydroponic where I get my own fresh fruit, and it'll lower my grocery bill. Um, I do, as anybody might have noticed in my channel, my inner voice tells me I need to be doing workouts. So I've tried a few different programs. The last one was going to a gym, which I need to get a bus pass for that I can't afford. So that's kind of not working out so well. So I'm again looking at doing some just regular exercises at home and starting some kind of routine for myself, which I think everybody should be doing. That right now is the time to get in shape and get physically active. So that's one thing I'm working on. I'm also trying to get this blog radio going because I think that is another form of communication and doing some tracking and just sharing information that I've gained. I'm sure there's a lot of other people that can help me learn. The student is usually the one that appears like the teacher. Every time I offer advice, I'm actually offering that advice to myself, because I think that that's where our insanity goes, is we offer advice to other people, but we don't follow our own advice. So that's what I do. I sort of tried to set up my channel more of a diary. So if I give any advice, it's not really advice to anybody else but myself, because I rewatch my own videos and I kind of look to see if I follow my own advice. So I'm very much the student and not the teacher, and I invite everybody to be the student. Offer as much advice as possible and don't give it out to the world. Just like put it on videos or blog TV or blog radio, or put out as much helpful information as possible, but only with the intention that you're doing it for yourself. We need to get as much positive shit out there as possible. And generally, if you follow your own advice, we'll all be doing well. So anybody that can help me with this blog radio, I would really, really appreciate it, because I'd like to get that thing up and running, but it looks like it might take a long learning curve, which I don't like doing. I just like diving in. I can't even see how you start the show. I would just start the show and start it off with, hey, help. So anybody that wants to maybe help me out with this blog radio, Blog Talk Radio is where I've joined up to. I'd really appreciate that help. Anybody that might be interested in learning about a free energy hydroponic system, let me know if you might want to help fund it, because the faster I can get this thing going, the faster every one of us would learn how that system works. Or if you even can conceive that it wouldn't work, but I can't see how it wouldn't work. Kind of seen too much free energy information to see how this does work, and it would be huge energy. That everybody would use. If I can get it working, then it's out there free for everybody to use. So it's like, if anybody even has like maybe $50 to put into something like that, consider it research for the masses. I'd be grateful to hear that. Anybody that has any information on hydroponics, I'd be interested in that. One main interest, what I was going to talk about, is these pH balancing and stuff like that. I'm kind of looking at some plants, like potatoes, grow in dirt. So I'm looking at having some dirt, and I'm looking at making my own compost from any of the vegetables that I'm eating. I can, use the composting for that. And I'm wondering if that compost, if water dripped through that, would I get the pH that I need? Lots about plants that I don't know. I suck at growing, so I'm going to need a lot of information about that. So there you go. Anybody that can help me out in those areas, I'd really appreciate it. Peace out.